Tweetthestreets.com is it's a website, it's a network, it's an organization, it's a movement to be able to have citizen reporters reporting what they see on the streets. And all around the world, we've got folks in South Africa, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Lebanon, UK, and we're looking for more. So you can go to our site, tweetthestreets.com. That's Tweet the Streets. You don't have to have a Twitter account to do this. Just go there and drop us an email. I'm Will Roberts. I'm the founder and the person that runs the tweets in the streets. So our subject today is the President's recent speech on the pulling out of Afghanistan. Wow. Well, you know, it was a nice sort of political speech. I will tell you that I do at this point lean kind of over to the left side, although that was my right, the left side in regards to the way things are going. I think that the right's being a little bit heavy-handed on a lot of their decisions or lack of making decisions with the president, from the budget, you know, the debt ceiling, health care. But that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is the speech. The speech that Mr. Obama made, as much as I respect him, he might have wanted to go off a teleprompter on that one, because it just came off as sounding like he was being a politician, you know, saying that, well, let me put it to you this way. If you're going to start off with taking and putting 10,000 people in Afghanistan, and then a year or two later add another 100,000, I'm making these numbers up, but I'm sure they are too, and then come back and tell us now that you're going to take probably 10 to 20 or 30,000 out, well, you pretty much ended up the same way you started, with still having troops in Afghanistan. Now, I do realize that it's a very difficult task to take out everybody. I understand that, Mr. President, but the problem is that you're going to have to show a little bit more leadership in regards to this, because what happens is it looks like it's just a 2012 political punt. Looks like you're just trying to get your voters, your voter base to, you know, just kind of look at you and go, ooh, he's doing what we want. The bottom line is that folks do want everybody out of Afghanistan, the troops. They've all done a great job. America's really good at producing wars, you know. All you have to do is get us started on one word. You know, sticks and stones may break our bones, but one wrong word and we got a war, and we'll fund it. Anyhow, we'll make it into a commercial venture. But the bottom line is, Mr. President, that you're going to have to get out there and you're going to have to kind of push this one a little bit harder, maybe get some troops back sooner. And, you know, I have a theory on how Mr. Obama is presenting himself. You know, we're watching him and we're saying, and a lot of folks, and he even said in his press conference, he said, you know, a lot of folks are turning to me and blaming me and saying I'm not being a good leader. When in reality, I'll tell you a story. I used to have a friend that when I was really, really destitute, because that's what most performers are most of their life. Well, when I was really, you know, desperate, needed money, needed work, and every time I would ask this gentleman a question, I produced talk radio at the time and it was all self-help. Every time I asked him a question, I'd say, hey, you know what? What do you think about if I did this and it would really help my career and maybe I could get some money? And you know what I'd get from him? Crickets. I wouldn't get an answer. So eventually I became very frustrated with this person, and I said to myself, why won't he make a decision for me? When in reality, what he was doing is actually making me make the decisions myself. Now, I'm not saying that Mr. Obama is, you know, asking us to make the decisions for our country, but in some ways, maybe he is. But I do think he's taking the road less traveled, you know, politics, which is kind of the, you know, he's playing it underneath the, you know, under the foreground. You don't see what he's doing, but I think he's doing some really good work. But the problem is that he's got so many folks that are against him that, you know, if he did make some choices, I'm just having this reality right now, it might be more detrimental to his political health than he wants it to be. So he makes a decision, he has to change some ideas, because the bottom line is that, you know, there's right and there's left, and I'm in the middle. I'm an independent because I can flip a coin, and regardless of how I think, I can flip a coin, I can change my mind, and I'm not a flip-flopper. Politicians do that, they are a flip-flopper. Anyway, if he does that, well, could cost him his next election. So whether or not he is elected next president, or he isn't, the bottom line is that I think he has a strategy, and the only thing you can do is, if you believe in him, is trust him. And if you don't, you can do that. I'm Will Roberts, tweetthestreet.com. We really want to hear from you.
Hey kids, this is RJ Owens, your San Francisco correspondent with Tweet the Streets, and today I want to talk about President Obama's speech he made this morning. Wow, what a fantastic speech. He talked about everything, and the questions that were asked of him were incredibly topical. Almost all of them were incredibly topical. I want to talk about everything he talked about, but I don't have enough time for that, so I'm going to just hit on some topics that I think were fantastic. He talked about the NATO strikes in Libya, and he was absolutely right. Americans have not set foot on or stepped on the soil in Libya during these NATO strikes because we aren't involved. We are, to a certain extent, but as he said, the other players in NATO are taking up the slack, or doing their fair share, I think is how he put it, as far as these strikes that are happening. And sorry, Mr. Gaddafi, I think it's time for you to be out of power. I think you've run your dictatorship long enough. So bravo on that. Bravo on the airstrikes. Bravo on our involvement with NATO. I think it's fantastic, and I don't think we hindered with the war pact, or it was not an act of war on our part. He also talked about New York passing gay marriage. I think that's fantastic. He basically said he's all for gay marriage. He said domestic partners or married couples should have the same benefits as heterosexual married couples. And I agree. I absolutely agree with that. I live in San Francisco. You used to be the gay capital of the United States. I heard recently that Atlanta, Georgia has become that, though. Actually, no. Atlanta, Georgia has become the lesbian capital. I don't know. I'm not going to get involved. Anyway, I think it's fantastic that he's able to come out and say that. I just hope there comes a day when it will become a federally mandated law that gay couples get the same benefits and detriments that married couples get. Bravo on that. Then he talked about Boeing. One of the questions was asked about Boeing wanting to move to a different location, and there's a whole flap about that. And he basically cut it to the point and said, you know what? They're not taking the jobs out of the country. They're keeping the jobs in America. They just want to move to a different city. I think we should let them. And I think the powers that be on both sides should get down and go, you know what? This is going to create jobs. Yeah, sure. Some people in wherever they are, I believe it's up north, are going to lose some jobs. But they're going to create new jobs in a bigger facility somewhere else. And this is what we need. He was very poignant when he spoke about America needs to do its job. We need to do our part. And I don't think we are doing our part enough. Sure, we're all doing what we can do, and we are all struggling to survive. I'm working as many jobs as I can to make my rent, and I'm sure there are plenty of you out there who are doing as many jobs as you can to make your mortgage and make your car payment. He gave a great analogy today about the government not doing, the senators and such not doing their job in coming up with a proper budget and a proper plan for him. And he was like, you know what, guys? Don't go on vacation. Don't take your break. Why don't you stay here and work? I've been here working. I've been working with Libya. I've been working with Greece. Heck, I found Osama. Well, he didn't say that, but he mentioned that. And I agree. Come on, Congress. Come on, Senate. Do your jobs. Stay. Don't go on break. Stay and do your fucking jobs. Pardon me, I didn't mean to use that language. I'll beep that out in post. Anyway, I think it was a fantastic speech by Obama today. If you didn't get a chance to see it, look it up on YouTube. It's a wonderful speech. He is a great orator. He, like Bill Clinton, is a very charming speaker. And I enjoyed everything he had to say today. Some things I didn't agree with, a lot of things I did agree with. With that being said, this is RJ Owens, your San Francisco Tweet the Streets correspondent. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can send us an email at tweetthestreets@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at tweetthestreets, or you can just go to our website, tweetthestreets.com. Until then, this is RJ saying I'll see you in the funny pages. Bye-bye.